Hey everyone, it's Janine, your local realtor here in the Edmonton area, and today I'm going to go over what's been happening in the Edmonton real estate market for the month of October. So before we get started, I just want to remind you that this report is focusing just within the city of Edmonton. We have a lot of little towns and cities around the area: Sherwood Park, St. Albert, Beaumont, Leduc. Those areas aren't included in this report, but they're pretty similar anyways. If you need to know more about those areas, we still work in those areas, so please be sure to message me and I would be happy to help. All right, let's jump into it. First, we're going to look at the detached single family homes. So there was 1,927 active listings and 873 sold. So when you look at that in percentage, just over 31% sold. For listings versus sold, we did have quite a bit of listings. However, we had quite a bit of sold. The gap between new listings and sold is increasing. If we look at that compared to last year, October, so last October, the gap was bigger. We had a little bit less listings too. So the market is still very active. There is still low inventory. As you will see later on in this report, I kind of will explain what that means. So looking at the average home price, we are at just over $542,000. This is just a slight decrease from last month, but a 13.9% increase year over year. So last year's average was $476,000. So when we take a look at the average price for these detached single family home, you will notice that 2024 has pretty much been higher this entire year almost. We are kind of holding steady this last 2 months, but as we hear more interest rates dropping, this can, my prediction will probably increase. I'm thinking it's going to be a very busy spring, because normally we see it kind of slow down, and it's not so far. So what is selling? The most popular price point right now for sales is between $300 to $500. That will go the quickest, fastest, especially $400 to $500. As we get into higher prices, you'll see that kind of dwindle down a little bit more. There's a little bit more active versus sold, but the $400 to $500 mark, there's really not a whole lot of inventory, and we will check this out. So months of inventory, to see a balanced market, you kind of want to see it at around 3 to 4 months of inventory. That will be more balanced. Anything higher than 4, it is going to be a buyer's market, and anything lower is going to be a seller's market. So look at that popular range between 3 to 500. It is just at about a one month of inventory. That's a really low inventory. So you are seeing competitive pricing or competitive offers, quick sales within that range. So looking at the days on market, again, you'll notice less than 30 days on market for that 3 to 500 range. And for the higher price points, they are longer on market. Are they selling at or over list price? Yes, for the popular range, again, you will see higher selling at or over list price. Last year around this time, I want to say it was around 20%, and now we are close to between 30 to 40% selling at or over list price. All right, let's take a look at duplexes and townhomes. So before we start this, I want to remind you, duplexes and townhomes, there's 2 different types of properties in this. There's going to be condo board properties and non-condo board properties. So there's going to be a bit of difference. You will see condo properties at a lower price point versus single family homes that aren't a part of a condo board will be the higher price point range. So 637 active listings versus 426 sold. So just over 40% sold. So again, lower inventory, same kind of problem that we've been having for a while here. Plus all the people that are moving here and investing in Edmonton, there's just a lot happening here right now. So looking at listings versus solds, again, this gap between new listings and sold is getting pretty close, which brings the amount of inventory down. If we look at it last year in October, it was kind of the same, but it wasn't as close of a gap between listing and sold. So looking at the average price right now is $351, just up over 3%, almost, no, 3.5%. Year to year though, just over almost 15%, so 14.8% year over year. Last year, we were looking at an average price of $306,000. Looking at the multiple years here, we have 2022, 2023, 2024. You can see that we've been sitting up ahead almost all of 2024 for this type of property. What kind of properties are selling at this price point? So you're going to see basically up to around mid threes, high threes are going to be condo properties. Anything over that usually will be single family, meaning no condo board. So this price range is fairly popular, between 300,000 to 400,000. So months of inventory, same kind of issue as Detached. We're just over a month of inventory for the popular range, and then as soon as you get higher in price, it goes higher in inventory. So when there's low inventory and a lot of demand, that is what keeps causing our price increase. And once we get more announcements with lowering the interest rate like we recently did, that kicks in a lot more demand as well. Days on market, again, around that 20 to 30 days on market, and sold at or over list price between 20 to 30%. And the most popular range is between 30 to 40%. So there is a lot of competitive offers going out too. Okay, now we're going to look at apartment style condos. So a little less here, just over 1,000 active, 300 sold. So when you look at that in percentage, just under 25% sold. Now, usually we have a little bit more of a bigger gap, as you can see in previous months, between listings and sold, but the gap is starting to close up here as well. Looking at last year, a fairly big gap between listings and sold. So if we look at 2024 again, there is more activity in the sold side than previous years. Okay, looking at the average price, right now we are at $194, just a slight increase month to month and a little bit of a decrease year to year. So when we look at the condo or the apartment condos, you will see it kind of goes up and down a little bit more than the other style of properties. What type of condo or apartment condos are selling? So most popular is up to 200,000 and a little bit up to 300, and after that it kind of just drops down. So months of inventory, you'll see again, if reminding you, anything over 4 months of inventory is a buyer's market. So almost a buyer's market in a lot of segments here, except under 200,000. Days on market, it does take a little longer here, between 50 to 60, 70-ish days in general. And not as many selling at or over list price. You will see this one between 400 to 500 and seem like it looks like a lot, but if you remember going back to what is selling, not many sold. So it doesn't take much to make that number look big, but in reality, not many are selling at or over list price for apartment style condos. Okay, well, that is just the market overview. It's super general. So if you have questions that need to be more specific to your area or to what you're looking at, let me know. I'm happy to help and we can dig into the details. And until next time, see you.